Hello everybody, this is Chase with ChaseNCredit back again. Give you a little bit more information about business credit and sometimes personal credit too, but we love talking about business credit. That's how we help our clients. But you know, last couple of videos we've been talking about credit cards. Last video we was talking about inquiries and how they can affect your credit. And today we're going to talk a little bit about using your credit cards wisely, right? So I can think about a time when I had a whole stack of credit cards, right? You know, I had them like a deck of cards, right? And it, you know, it'd be like spreading them out, like pick a card, right? And it looked good. It felt good to have, you know, all that credit, all those credit cards. They was all flashy, they looked good. Each one had their own style and all that stuff on it, right? But for the most part, it was very hard to manage, right? That was back in the day. They didn't have all these apps like Wallet and all this stuff that you could put them all in and they could show all their balances all at once, and you know, you could set up little parameters and all that stuff. So now you had to do it all by head, like which one do I owe and all that. But you know, now they do. But more importantly, still, you still got to be able to manage these credit cards wisely, right? Why? Because they can easily get out of control, right? And more importantly, when I say wisely, the interest rates on them, because that's normally what gets people in trouble. You know, the interest rates getting out of control, because the banks of the credit cards are also watching you and your spending habits on those credit cards, and what they're saying is if you're, you know, going all willy-nilly, if you look at that long credit card contract that a lot of people don't even read, you know, I've been guilty of it. They have the control, they have the ability to actually raise your credit limit. I'm sorry, that was wrong. They have the ability to raise your interest limit, and really they can do that because you're appearing to be a risk, right? And becoming a risk to them is only really to protect themselves. And by doing that, your interest rate could, I don't know, go up third, fourth, double, whatever the case is. And then by doing that, now your payment goes up, right? Of course, simple math. And now your credit card payment goes up on a few cards. Well, it depends on how many cards you got. And now you can't manage them. And or you're just sinking in a bunch of money into interest and none of it's going towards principal. And then of course that's not good. So really what's happening is you're really shooting yourself in the foot, all because you showed the vendors or the banks that you couldn't manage your credit cards, right? They stepped out on faith, and faith with an F, right? Faith. They stepped out and gave you the credit cards, extended you the credit, and because you just like ran off and started using it all these different places, and now they raised your interest rate. And of course you may say, hey, this is not fair, this is not what we agreed on at first, but it is fair because it's in a contract, and now your payments went up. Now, you know, you might be ready to go get a part-time job just to pay your debt. And then what that does is it puts you in a funk because, you know, you see these commercials online like, you know, if you're in credit card debt over $10,000, we have a program for you. I don't know everything about those programs, but if you don't pay that credit card debt, I don't think that's going to fare well on your credit. Or if you end up trying to go do bankruptcy, that's not going to help your credit. So really the best thing to do at this point, right, starting from scratch, square one, day one, is to handle your credit cards wisely. It might sound simple, right? 2 plus 2 is 4, but other people will tell you 2 plus 2 don't equal 4. So don't think it's that simple, right? When you start getting these credit cards, because I thought it was that simple too, and I made mistakes quite a few times, right? I also thought 2 plus 2 was 4, but then I tried to change that number. So don't shoot yourself in the foot thinking it's just that simple, right? Make it more simpler than that, right? Just look at the credit cards that you got. Don't be afraid of the credit cards. Just like a gun can sit there on the counter loaded, but it won't hurt anybody until somebody puts their finger on the trigger, and it's only going to hurt anything that's in the direction of that nozzle. So same thing with a credit card. Credit card can only hurt the person whose name is on that account, and if they go out spending unwisely. So just keep all this in mind and just think about strategically, right? Why did you go get the credit cards, right? And what are you trying to do? Are you trying to build your credit? Are you trying to add on to your credit? Are you trying to build business credit? Strategically, what are you trying to do? A lot of people have the rule of thumb that don't use a credit card unless you can pay it off at the end of the month. I mean, there's all kinds of rules of thumb, but create one for yourself or use one that other people use so you don't find yourself in trouble. Have a plan, have a strategy. So what you can end up doing, right, is create a win-win situation. They're extending credit to you, but what you want to do is you want to leverage credit so to where it works for you, right? You want to leverage it because it is a tool. It really is. And you want to have that tool in your toolbox so you can be able to make some moves, right? You can duck and move, make some moves, and make some things happen, especially if you're going to be wanting to go into business. Because if you build your personal credit, and if your plan is to go into business or go into business with somebody, you want your personal credit up, in the 7s, 720s, 750s, whatever. They're going to look at your personal credit. And when they look at your personal credit and they say, hey man, Joe Smo can handle his personal credit, he can handle his credit cards, well shoot, he can handle some business credit. That's how it works. And when they see that you can handle some business credit, man, they're going to extend you some business credit. That's leverage. That's a great strategy, right? And now next thing you know, you got your business off the ground. You didn't have to sell your soul or give away your first baby to get any money for your business. You funded your own business, and you and whoever went into business together own all the equity in the company yourself, right? And the bank funded it, right, because you got credit. And now you go out and you generate revenue, and the revenue is going to pay back the bank because you had good credit. So that's a strategy, right? I would think it's one. I mean, it's one that a lot of people have used. So just keep that in mind, right? There's a bigger play here, and then to just run out and willy-nilly and mess up your personal credit. And now there's bigger moves that you can't make, opportunities you can't take advantage of, and now you're stuck like Chuck. So I hope this helped, right? Just think about those moves. What kind of strategy do you have in mind? What kind of bigger play are you looking at, right? But it all comes down to starting off from scratch. Step number one, use your credit cards wisely, right? Before you start swiping or sticking in that chip, what kind of move am I making? How is this going to affect me tomorrow, right? Think about that, right? This business I'm about to build, is this going to help or hurt this business come 3 months from now, right? Think about that, right? What's the strategy, right? What's the bigger play? Think about that. Ask yourself that. So get out there, be chasing some credit. If you got some more questions on this topic, right? If we want to learn some more, I'm still learning, because God knows I made enough mistakes. I'm still learning. So, but hey, leave some questions. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, ChaseNCredit, because we're out here every day chasing credit, twice on Sundays. And with that, hey, I'm Chase with ChaseNCredit. We'll talk to you soon.